Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brothas Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ followers perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with KD Smooth at One Brothas Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's KD Smooth coming back at you with a new report. I pray you all are doing well. Shalom, family. Family, we need to have a conversation. We need to have a serious conversation on this topic here. Ooh, wait. Almost. Here we go. Yeah, y'all see it on your screen. Houston, we have a problem. Here at One Brothas Mind, I've been sounding the alarm like some others about what's going on with the banks, the electronic banking applications, if you will. Yeah. You may know of a little bit of what's going on, but family is far, far worse than you're aware of. And tonight, KD Smooth is going to show you. I'm going to make sure it is absolutely clear to you tonight as to what's happening, what's coming, and also offer you a few solutions or a few options along the way that you can enact to ensure or help protect yourself and assure that what's happening doesn't happen to you. Okay? All right. So, as usual, before we get started, smash the like button, and share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information and facts you need. All right. As a part of this report, family, I got several clips I want to share with you. I'm going to try not to interrupt those clips too much, but I'm gonna have to pause a couple of them and add some wording to some of these, just so you have a clear picture of what's being reported. Okay, but again, I'm gonna leave no doubt as to what's happening, so you can make wise decisions as to how you're going to move forward handling your money. All right, so we're going to get started here. First thing you need to understand, family, is we're beyond the point of a system failure. You're like, what? KD Smooth, what you talking about? You tripping. We're beyond a system failure at this point. We are at the point where there are system failures with an S. Okay? And we're headed to more disastrous failures soon. Okay? Just to be clear. All right? So again, we're going to start off with couple of video clips, or a few of them, and when we're done with those clips, we're going to come back and we're going to chop it up on that information. First clip's coming at you right now.
A scary day for some Bank of America customers Wednesday. They checked their accounts and found their money gone.
I'm missing $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there's no way they can help us. You missing money too? There you go.
It was a nationwide issue.
I get a text alert and it says my account is overdrawn.
One customer tweeted their balance of negative $2,000. Most complaints involved the payment transfer service Zelle.
I did see that what was causing my negative balance was the Zelle transfer that I had at one time seen in my account and had received notification. It just disappeared.
I went to see my bank account and then I saw there's $100 less.
Zelle is owned by Bank of America and 6 other banks. It issued a statement saying, "We understand that a Zelle network financial institution may have experienced issues processing some of their customers' Zelle transactions, which has now been resolved." Many customers tried to contact Bank of America customer service, but say they were unsuccessful. The bank apologized on social media, saying Zelle transactions made between January 14th and January 17th may be delayed in occurring and posting to accounts. Transfers will appear in your account as soon as possible. As of 3 p.m. Eastern, they said the problem was resolved.
That's a cap. Family. There are many, many customers of Bank of America that reported problems with their account lasting several days, some up to a week or more. Let's continue.
But did not give a reason for the disruptions. It's not the first time Zelle customers have had problems. The app is facing a lawsuit, with consumer advocates and lawmakers citing increasing fraud. A recent report claimed there were nearly 200,000 cases of fraudulent transactions on Zelle between 2021 and 2022, involving more than $200 million. Some customers may face overdraft fees from yesterday's glitch. There was no immediate word from Bank of America on how any fees will be handled. Andrea Fujii, ABC News.
That's a cap. She said yesterday, as I've said, many customers reported problems with their accounts remaining for several days, multiple days, even up to a week or more. Okay, and so many of y'all may have heard or seen that report or information, but I got more for you. Here we go.
It's a huge mess, and Cash App's doing nothing about it.
We're on your side tonight, talking with a local college professor about a security breach involving a popular money transfer app. Cash App, similar to Venmo, Zelle, lets you transfer money to friends directly from your bank account.
It is an easy way to pay instead of carrying cash, but he says he'll never use it again. Tonight, 13 on your side's Nina DeSaro tells us how in just a few minutes he was out thousands of dollars.
I'm guilty of never carrying cash around, which is why apps like Cash App and Venmo are so helpful. But I've got to be honest, I'm now thinking twice about using these programs.
It's really so convenient. I don't have to carry cash on me. It's easy to send money back and forth.
College professor James Sackett and his wife used to use Cash App all the time.
It's very similar to Venmo, or Zelle, I think, is another one.
This week, they noticed several charges on their account that they never authorized.
And there was like 6 or 7 transactions in a row of between $1,000 and $2,000 each time.
The charges?
8 charges within the past 2 days.
Totaling $10,000.
Within like 5 minutes of each other. Boom, 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 boom. Just gone before you can even stop it or unlink your card.
The money was sent to people the couple don't know.
It looks like a real person. There's a picture with the account and a real name.
They tried to contact Cash App immediately.
You try to reach out to them with a phone number because you're panicking.
According to the company's website, there isn't a number available to speak to a customer service agent.
And they're like, we don't talk to people on the phone. And it's like, okay, well, we need to talk to somebody immediately. This is serious. And so you just have to send them an email and then sit there and wait.
Sackett says eventually Cash App told them to contact the people the money was sent to and ask for the funds back.
Because we don't know these people, and so they're not listening to us.
They contacted their credit union, canceled the card, and filed a formal fraudulent complaint.
They were able to get us our money back, but the frustrating part is I would imagine, I don't know how this all works, but I would imagine Lake Michigan Credit Union is now having to fight with Cash App through the fraud department to get the money, and in my opinion, not fair to them.
They unlinked their bank account from the app, and somehow it was hacked again.
They uploaded somebody else's card to our account and then hacked that person's card on our account. So now it looks like my wife is stealing money from people. And so now we're associated with fraudulent activity.
Sackett is urging everyone to delete their bank account from Cash App, delete their Cash App account, and then delete the app from the phone.
I don't want this to happen to other people because it's been a nightmare.
In Grand Rapids, I'm Nina DeSaro, 13 on your...
Yeah, family. Did you know? Did you know all this kind of hell was going on with these peer-to-peer money apps? But wait, it gets worse. Here we go.
It is 6:02 right now. Users of a popular mobile payment app were booted off the platform, and they say they have no idea why that happened. WMRC News' Mallory Safaste reported on this issue earlier this year.
And since then, she's received a lot of emails from Venmo account holders really across the country seeking answers. So she asked the company and a cybersecurity expert about what users can do to try to unfreeze their accounts, because if it matters to you, it's a matter for Mallory.
When you create an account on Venmo, you agree to abide by their terms. If you don't, the company can immediately freeze your account, including any funds, and even permanently ban you from the platform. That's happened to a number of users who don't believe they did anything wrong and say Venmo won't tell them either.
Hi, Alec. Your Venmo account has been frozen due to recent activity that triggered some security alerts.
First, a red flag. Then Venmo told Alec Adamson he broke the rules.
As a result, we have placed a permanent limitation on your account.
Alec Googled this issue and came across our report from May.
They didn't give me any explanation. They just said, your account is deleted.
Susanna Sudek sent her daughter $200. Then Venmo froze her account, and a few days later, it was permanently deactivated.
I couldn't understand. I didn't do anything wrong.
Any idea why they would suspend your account? What kind of transactions were you using it for?
Yeah, I'm a tennis player, so just kind of only for friends and family. I kind of knew everybody that I've, sent money to.
We've received email after email from users with this same complaint. Many who had money in their accounts when they were frozen and told they'd have to wait up to 6 months to get it back.
Family, this is happening to thousands. I argue hundreds of thousands of people in the U.S.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has received hundreds of complaints about Venmo. Of the 332 filed since 2019, nearly a third involved a user's account being frozen.
That's a cap. It's thousands. Those are only the numbers that they have registered complaints. There's thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people that are fighting this fight for various reasons against Venmo and all of the other peer-to-peer money applications.
They had difficulties getting in touch with Venmo, or Venmo refused to say why their accounts were flagged. Venmo currently has 76 million active users.
Didn't get any response from them. I tried to chat them a couple times, call them, and basically they were very vague in saying they couldn't tell me the reason, but it's just a complete surprise to me.
A Venmo spokesperson answered our questions via email, but did not respond to our request for an interview. She said in part, if accounts are found to be improperly using our services, we will take appropriate action. We take this process very seriously, and our decisions are designed to protect our customers and platform. And we've learned Venmo doesn't share how it decides to restrict a user's account, not even with the user, in order to protect the systems that monitor activity on Venmo.
I do think that Venmo's handling this poorly because they're not revealing enough information.
Bill Sigline, cybersecurity expert and former U.S. intelligence official, is familiar with this issue.
It happened to my brother, as a matter of fact, just last week.
After his brother's account was frozen, he received an email from Venmo asking for documents to verify his identity.
I think what happened is some of the regulators leaned on Venmo and said, hey, you really have to get up to speed with some of these things. You got to get your database up to date with these identifying documents for your customers.
Venmo has much lower limits on accounts where the user's identity hasn't yet been confirmed.
They should have just come out and said, we're being asked to comply with certain laws, and by doing such, we need you to provide this information. They make it sound like it's the user's fault or the user has done something wrong.
Or the user's transaction.
Additional note, family. This report attempts to make it seem like the problem is the peer-to-peer applications don't have the user's identification information. That is not always the case. Many people have established these accounts through physical locations in their neighborhoods, in their areas, especially in the Black community. One of the main places to do this is so-called check cashing places, and there may be a few other spots like some liquor stores or what have you that are offering these accounts and these cards with these entities. And to open up an account at a physical location, you do provide all of your identification information at the time you open the account. But what most of these peer-to-peer applications argue or respond back with is, well, that location where you open your account and provided all of your personal information is a separate entity, or an entity or company separate from us. So we don't have it. Okay? Be clear on that.
Action may fall under the long list of restricted activities. Venmo is supposed to be between friends. Users are required to have a business account to send or receive payment for goods and services. Alex said he read the rules. He doesn't think he violated them.
I told him I'm really happy to send my driver's license or passport, whatever that you kind of need to make sure that it's me. Because I mean, I know that stuff happens and stuff, like a mistake of identity and stuff, but never got the chance. So, you know.
If this happens to you, you'll need to contact Venmo. You can do so via phone, email, web form, or mobile app chat. And there's no formal appeals process.
Did you hear that, family? There's no formal appeals process. What that means is there are no laws or legal requirements on Venmo or any of the peer-to-peer money application services. I keep telling people this over and over again. They are not banks. Banks at least have the federal and state legal requirements and laws that they have to operate by. These peer-to-peer money application services do not. Let's continue.
Users can request another review, but if Venmo finds that a user violated their policies, their accounts may be permanently deactivated. Also, if you receive an email from Venmo, PayPal, or any other financial institution asking you to confirm your identity, don't click on the link. Go directly to the bank or app to avoid any phishing scams. For WMAR 2 News, I'm...
Yeah, family. Did you know? Did you know? Oh, the hits keep on going. Here we go.
A young Knox County woman is suing PayPal right now. She wants to know why the online payment company froze her money for more than a year.
Yeah, that money sent directly to PayPal was from her unemployment benefits earned at the beginning of the pandemic because she couldn't work.
Yeah, WAT6 on your side, consumer reporter Don Dare says several hearings have already been heard in Knoxville Civil Court. Don?
Well, that's right, Bo. So far, there have been 2 preliminary hearings in this case, and more are scheduled. You know, some people don't have a checking account. Instead, they set up a direct deposit with PayPal. They receive a debit card and use it like a checking account. That's what Sheena Small did last year. She had 2 jobs, but because of the virus, they were both cut and at the time she was expecting a baby. Well, not long after taking out the PayPal account, it was unexpectedly frozen.
That's my gorgeous girl.
Sheena Small's 8-month-old baby girl, Israella, is the center of her life. But Sheena says she's lived on the edge financially for more than a year. In the spring of 2020, she lost her job due to the pandemic. She was eligible for state and federal unemployment, but had no checking account. That's when Sheena saw an ad from PayPal.
Use direct deposit for government and payroll payments. You didn't have to wait for it. It just got directed in there, and you can use, you can use it right away.
Shortly after applying last year and being accepted, she received this debit card from PayPal, and within a few days, more than $7,000 in unemployment money was loaded into the account, and she started using it.
It seemed fast and easy.
Everything went okay with PayPal until when?
Until they froze my account on July the 5th.
Did they explain why it was frozen?
They never give me no explanation for why they did it.
Ms. Small says for weeks she sent text messages and called PayPal asking when will the account be freed up.
I never heard from anybody. I kept messaging them of why, what was the reason they were holding my funds, why was my account frozen. And then a message came through that they were going to hold my funds for 180 days.
With no access to her money and her baby about to be born, her bills were mounting. To make ends meet, Sheena reluctantly took out a title loan. Then in January of this year, PayPal informed Sheena they're freezing her account for another 180 days.
I said, well, what for? They said, we can't tell you that. We don't have that information in front of us.
In early July, she hired Knoxville attorney Bennett Hirschhorn. He filed a lawsuit against PayPal, claiming breach of fiduciary duty and breach of contract. Within days of filing the lawsuit, PayPal deposited $4,400 into Ms. Small's new banking account with TVA Credit Union.
Your Honor, just to add one thing to that motion.
In Sessions Court last week, a preliminary hearing for the case established that PayPal's attorney will be able to testify remotely by video. Ms. Small's attorney says he wants PayPal to answer some questions regarding his client's deposit.
How the account was handled, what policies allowed them to hold the funds for over a year, what policies, if any, allowed them to hold the funds without giving the reason why they were being held or how you could have them released.
6 on Your Side reached out to PayPal. We were told the company does not comment on pending litigation. In court, PayPal's attorney told Judge Chuck Cerny the company will need time to gather its documents. A jury date has not yet been set. Now, Ms. Small and her attorney are not trying to break the bank with PayPal. They're suing for $25,000. If she wins, it would be enough money to pay for fees, court costs, and to pay her debt back to the title loan company. And today, Sheena is back at work. Now, will the case go to a jury or will there be a settlement? We'll let you know. Lori?
Okay, family. Couple of quick notes. Understand this. This lady that found an attorney, she is blessed. Or some of y'all would call it lucky. The reason being is because she actually found an attorney that would take her case and pursue it with the peer-to-peer money application company. Most attorneys out here in these streets either are unaware of these cases and this being a regular thing now that's happening to people, or the cases have a level of difficulty that they do not want to get involved with. They'll just tell you, I don't take those kind of cases. Okay? So she's extremely lucky she actually found an attorney. One of the reasons why attorneys don't like taking these kind of cases is because most of the peer-to-peer money application services, they don't have a specific address. They may have, or you may find 30, 40, 50 different addresses online for that particular peer-to-peer or for your particular peer-to-peer money application service. So then as an attorney, it's like, even if you file a case, where do you send or submit the lawsuit to? What address do you include in filing the case in court? Now, some of y'all already know there's also jurisdiction issues when filing cases when the person or entity that you're filing against has a location that's completely different than your city or state. Yeah. So y'all starting to begin to understand why trying to get your money back and even suing these people is extremely difficult. Okay? And be clear. Thus far, I've been showing you guys a variety of clips, not from mainstream media, but the handful of clips that I've researched and found from local mainstream medias around the US that have actually done stories or reports on this issue. Okay? But it's a very few of them. Trust me, if you go to YouTube and you try to do some search, you're not going to find this many reports this fast. Okay? You'll find a whole gang of people sharing their personal experiences, what's happening to them, and they're begging for help. You'll find videos of that stuff all over social media. But you're not going to find a whole lot of so-called mainstream media reports. This is something that they're keeping buried. And they're doing it on purpose. The party ain't over though. Are you saying, well, ain't nothing happening with mine, so I guess I'm cool? You think so? Here you go.
All right, it's 9:20. We're talking about your life savings now. Imagine life savings in an account that suddenly you don't have access to. And not only that, you're told no refund is coming. It sounds outrageous. With Fox 5 I-Team's Dana Fowle says customers from an app-based banking tool complain this is exactly what they're dealing with. Right, Dana?
That's exactly what we're saying here. And you know, millions of people have turned to this app-based banking system. And one of the big names out there is Chime. It is so easy to sign up, takes just minutes, and that's part of the appeal. But let this Griffin woman and Fox 5 Atlanta viewer tell you how she's been asking for months for her $14,000 to be returned to her.
The end of September, October, November, I was stressed. Just stress.
Real quick, family. These things happening to people, these companies literally stealing people's money, in many cases their life savings, it's causing many people to have strokes and heart attacks. It's causing people to be evicted from their apartments, causing their cars to be repossessed, and worse. Be clear on that, family. Because if you're using these peer-to-peer money applications, almost as it's like your bank, that's where you're holding the majority or all of your money. When, not if, when they freeze your account, you in trouble. How you going to pay your bills? How you going to pay your mortgage? How you going to pay your rent? How you going to pay your car note? How you going to buy food for you and your family? Yeah, you in trouble. And they're doing these things, and none of these peer-to-peer money application services are suffering any consequences for stealing people's money. The worst thing that's happening to them is after a long period of time, whether a user has found an attorney or a new service or just through attrition, after many months, some more than a year, these services are being forced or having to release and return some of the monies that they've stolen from people. I'll put it this way, returning the monies that they've stolen from some of the people, but not everybody. Okay? Make sure you're clear on that, family. Let's continue.
Not sleeping stressed. Not have eating stressed.
It was September last year when Marla Jones got a puzzling message from Chime, a technology company that offers banking services. Her account was on hold. Chime had detected unusual activity on her account.
The first few months, everything was fine, which is why when I received the email saying that they was going to put my account on hold, I wasn't alarmed.
But that didn't last long. Chime closed her account and kept her money. She had no access to her $14,000 and she couldn't pay her bills.
I've had to borrow money from family members. And nobody wants to do that.
She filed a complaint with a federal oversight group. She told them what she told us. She can't get a refund on her closed account. It's a familiar story.
Be clear, family. This lady found an oversight group or some sort of helpful service that helped her in this process to recover her money, right? But in most cities and most states, if there's a service or a helpful group like that available to try to help you get a refund on your money, most of them are completely inundated, full of these complaints and cases, many of which they're so full they can no longer take new cases on. Let that sink in, family. So if it happens to you tomorrow, and you in an area where there's a law firm, some attorneys, or some other group or services that you figure out in contact and say, hey, I need some help. Don't be surprised if you get a response from them. Like, yes, we help with these cases, but at this time, our caseload is full. Please call us back. Give us a few weeks or whatever, some time, and call us back and try again. Meanwhile, you still don't have your money. Here we go.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has logged more than 1,000 complaints in a short period of time about Chime. The Better Business Bureau has issued an alert. It says many customers claim they are having their accounts closed, no access to their money, even after providing requested information. In an email, Chime wrote the Fox 5i team that Ms. Jones hadn't answered an outstanding request for more information.
They told me that I needed to provide a photo of me holding my government issued ID. They told me that I needed to provide a explanation of the activity in my account.
She says she sent this picture. This email shows she told them she had a big influx of cash to her Chime account because she was moving it from another account. She asked for her money to be returned in January, again in February. Nothing.
I've done everything I've been asked. Give me my money.
Soon after the Fox 5i team reached out to Chime, her nearly 10-month-old case was resolved. They wrote that we resolved the matter and the member has full access to their account. More than $14,000 was returned to her. Here are a few things she's learned. Chime, where banking that's got your back, is not actually a bank. It's a financial technology company that works with banks. Chime and other app-based companies are called neobanks or fintech. Marla Jones says this new stuff might not be right for her. She's moving her money again.
I'm thinking about putting my money up under my mattress, but
She's joking, of course, but she is going back to old-fashioned banking.
I'll stay local. When it comes to banking, I'll definitely stay local.
Now, if you are app-based banking and you're going to stick with that method, which millions of people will, make sure you save your emails and documents in case you need them later, and not just within the app, but outside on your desktop. So if you're locked out, you have access to these. And make sure that the company you're dealing with has your latest contact information. If you switch email addresses, make sure they know that in case they need to contact you. Portia?
Another quick note, family. Most of these app-based companies, they do not send you an email notification or a notification about them freezing your account of any kind. You find out that your account has been frozen when you go to try to do a transaction or an ATM withdrawal, or you log in on the app and then you see a pop-up, or it says you got to email to the mailbox within your app. And then you go look there and there's the little frozen notice. Don't miss that, family.
Well, and Dana, the thing is, millions of people really are using these kinds of banking apps and getting these deposits in the last year. This has got to be something you've got to watch out for.
Yeah, well, there's a banking consulting company that says Chime and many others, increased their customer base during the pandemic, which meant a lot of large checks from the federal government were coming into these accounts, and these are setting off flags. Get that. Chime said, they need to make sure these things aren't fraudulent. But locking down an account with your life savings for 10 months is an altogether different scenario.
Yes, indeed. All right. Good information. Thank you so much, Dana.
All right, family.
If you have a side gig and need to file your tax,
we got colonizer invaders at our gates. Anyway. Okay, did I hit yours yet? Did I hit the one you use yet? No? Are you sure? Okay. Just stay with me. Because it's all of them. I mean, all of them. Which is why here at One Brothas Mind, I've been telling people over and over again in previous reports on issues with these peer-to-peer money application services to stop using these things now. But we're going to chop that up and go deeper into that in just a moment. Okay? I got more for you. Here we
go into the bank in person, but for one East Bay man, it caused a mild panic, actually. The Bank of America shut down his branch just hours after he made a huge deposit and his money disappeared. So you can imagine how worried he was. So he came to 7 on Your Side's Michael Finney, as so many people do, to find out what to do, Michael.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this story happened at a major bank.
Yeah,
this viewer deposited $33,000 through a teller at a Bank of America in Oakland, and hours later, the branch shut down. His deposit never got posted, and everybody kept telling him, sorry, there's nothing we can do.
And I said, you're telling me that Bank of America lost $33,000 of my money, and you're telling me right here to my face, there's nothing you can do. That's right, sir.
It was like a bad dream, except it was real.
I started to think I may not see the money ever.
Brian Leonard deposited $33,000 into his account at Bank of America. Then it disappeared.
Nobody said, we'll find out where the money is, we'll make good on it, we'll take care of it. There was none of that.
It all began here in Brian's kitchen.
My wife and I are in the midst of a big kitchen remodel.
Brian had to pay the contractor and needed to transfer $33,000 from his account at Wells Fargo to his account at B of A. He brought a cashier's check straight to the teller at B of A so it would clear right away.
And she said it would post that afternoon or next morning at the latest.
However, when he checked his account the next day, the money was not there. He called B of A, and it was not good news.
The woman said that there was no record of the transaction, so as far as she was concerned, no transaction happened.
Brian drove back to the bank and got another surprise. B of A had shut down that branch just hours after he had made his big deposit.
And when I realized the branch that was closed and the teller that took my $33,000 cashier's check is nowhere to be found, my heart sank into my stomach. I feel like I just saw a boat leaving dock and my money is on the boat.
Brian went to another branch, only to find the doors locked there, too.
So that's when I started to get very nervous. It's just like, wait a second, the branches are closing. The people that I've had contact with, gone.
He went to a third branch. It was open, and the manager didn't help.
He said there's no record of the transaction, so there was nothing he could do.
Brian showed him the cashier's check and deposit receipt, proof of the missing money.
And I said, well, you're the manager. Can you escalate the issue? He says, no. There's nothing I can do.
Brian says everyone at B of A kept telling him that.
There was nothing he could do. There was nothing that she could do. So there's nothing I can do. So there was nothing he could do. They kept repeating, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about that. It was kind of Kafka-esque.
But there was something Brian could do. He contacted the bank's CEO, the federal government, and 7 on your side.
That ball started moving very quickly.
B of A tells us the problem arose because the cashier's check was made out to Bank of America, not Brian, and it delayed the process. B of A didn't say why no one helped Brian track down his money until now.
Bank of America contacted me and they said, we are going to give you $33,000 immediately. 7 on your side. You were on it from the get-go. And so, thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we do here. Now, look, this story is a great reminder. Keep your receipts. Bank of America did not comment on whether the shutdown of that branch may have caused a problem with the deposit, but says it's a temporary closure. This is one of hundreds of bank branches to close nationwide over the past year, and we're starting to hear more and more problems related to these shutdowns. And what concerns me, too, is you have receipts and they mean nothing?
Yeah.
Why have a receipt?
Right. As you said at the top, I've never heard of this at a major bank.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, as it turns out, there was something they could do. And you got them to do it. Thank you, Michael, very much.
With hundreds of design options.
There you go, family. Yeah. So, by this point, it should be clear to you and everybody watching this report now what's happening. And most of you have not seen all of those reports. There are others, but they're hard to find. Okay? Most of you have not seen all of those reports. But be clear. The issue of even the banks themselves, the major national chains, they're closing branches all over the country in pretty much every state. Now, you would think that when that guy went into the branch he went into to make his deposit, shouldn't the bank be required to tell him prior to making his deposit that that branch is closing today in a couple of hours? You think he might have made a decision to leave and go to another branch, at least, if he was informed? Yeah. Well, family, as you see on your screen, this is one of many. These things I've shared with you is just one of many of the problems and dangers with electronic banking or online banking. We're just scratching the surface. Or I got more for you, but we're just scratching the surface. Okay? This is one of the dangers of it. But keep in mind, these things that I've shared with you thus far, these are only so-called errors, right? These are only so-called errors. Wait until the time begins when they really start doing what they want to do with your money in these electronic accounts or digital currency, where they're actually saying, no, you can't purchase this. No, you can't spend your money here, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, we're holding your money because we said so. Do you see that? Do you see what's coming? Some of y'all have. Some of y'all are up on this, just like Katie Smooth, and have already taken steps and action to alleviate or reduce your risk dealing with these fools out here. But it's not a matter of if it's going to happen to you, but it's a matter of when. Check this out, family. Again, Katie Smooth, I'm not sitting up here just preaching and finding reports and information off these internet streets. Take a look at your screen. Yes, this exact same issue with one of these peer-to-peer money application services, it literally happened to me. I actually had to fight for a year and a half for my money to be returned to me. And what you see is the actual envelope that a refund check for my money was issued and mailed in. And just the operation of them mailing this envelope back to me with my refund check after a year and a half, that was a nightmare. You say, why? Well, here's one. First, look at the bottom half of the image, and you can see where I zoomed in the name of the actual company that I was dealing with, NetSpin. And you may have heard or remember in one of the previous reports, NetSpin is backed by a real so-called bank. It's called MetaBank, and there's a couple of other ones that are backed by that same bank. So that's the one that got me. All right. I had an account with this company for years with no problem, no issues. Just like you saying right now. In fact, I had multiple accounts with them for different things, right? One of the issues that was a problem when it came to getting my money returned to me via mail in this regard was my newest account that I had with NetSpin. They had my current address on that account. My original account that I had for the longest period of time, multiple years, they actually had my previous address because I had recently relocated. And it was my original account where they stole my money from. Okay? And I contacted them. I provided information on all my accounts. I was like, my current address is in your database. It's right there on my most recent account or accounts. The same person. Again, I provided, just like they took me through the same BS. Email out us copies of your identification information. Same hustle. I did that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, multiple times. Still didn't get my money back. Okay. again, I went out, I tried to reach out. That's why I'm able to really give all this information. I went through the same steps that a lot of people, that thousands of people are going through. I contacted attorneys, law firms that was like, oh, nope, not get involved. I literally had attorneys laughing at me because they thought I was trying to they thought I was lying. They thought I was trying to commit some kind of fraud and use their legal services to help me do it. Literally. I had other services and firms tell me they were maxed out on cases already. Check back with us in a few months. I went through all of these different things. So what ended up happening, Netspend, I provided all my information. I did it out of habit after a while. It was every so often, every so many weeks, I would provide I would call them, get a new resolution number, reference number from them, send me my dang money. And they would say, provide us all your ID information again. I would provide it all again. And I did that. And just by the grace of Yah, the last time that I provided them, after a year and a half, my information, ID information, they decided to mail me my full refund check. And yeah, it was many racks they had of mine, just to be clear. But they decided to mail me my full refund check. But there's only one thing that made it to where I received what you see on your screen. Because what they did and what they had done in the past was they would mail me my refund check, but they would mail it to my old address without me knowing it, my previous address. Now, of course, I had went through periods of time where I had set up mail forwarding at my previous address after I relocated, whatever. But stuff like that, I think in my area, it only lasts for about a year, and then the mail stops being forwarded. So depending on when some mail comes to your previous address, if it's outside of that time window, it's not going to be forwarded. And that's what happened on a previous time when they tried to mail it to me. And so I kept going at them like, y'all have to, one, confirm when you're going to mail it, and two, how you're going to mail it, what mail service you're going to use. Because if it's regular postal mail, then I have to go in and put in a mail forwarding request. So whether it comes to my old address or my current address, I will receive it. They never did any of that. They mailed it once again, a year and a half later, to my previous address, right? So, and for those that are listening, yeah, I updated my previous address on this old account when this stuff all started multiple times. And they confirmed that they updated my address, which they lied every time on this old account. They never did. So this last time they mailed it out, they sent my full refund check in this envelope that you see on your screen to my previous old address again, lying. They didn't tell me. They lied about what mail service they were going to use. They said they were going to use, I want to say it was either FedEx or UPS. This is, I can't remember. It's not one of them. I think this is regular postal mail. And then, of course, they lied about what address they were going to send my mail to. The only reason why I got my mail was, actually, this was UPS. They told me they were going to send it regular postal service. The only reason why I actually got this envelope, literally, I am not kidding you, is because the last time when they sent this envelope and they turned it in to the UPS mailing center, wherever they did, they included my actual email address with UPS. They wrote it down, and the same one I've had the whole time, but this last time they included my email address, and UPS put my email address on the mailing in their system. And within a couple of few days later, I got a notification not from Netspend. I got a notification from UPS based on my email. They sent me just a direct notification to my email saying I had a package coming. And I was like, what is this? Because again, Netspend lied about what mail service they were going to use, right? So I had no idea. I'm like, what is this UPS thing? I'm thinking it's spam or whatever. But I clicked on it and went looking into it a little bit, and it said it was going to be, actually, the notice said it had been delivered to my address, but now it's being rerouted to a pickup location, a UPS pickup location. I'm like, what the hell? So again, they mailed it to my previous old address that they lied and said they had updated. Didn't get delivered there because I wasn't there, couldn't sign for it. So now they just transferring it to a UPS pickup location, where in my case, that happened to be a CVS drugstore in my area. Okay? And it showed a day and an approximate delivery time there. Basically, I was sitting at that CVS drugstore location at that delivery time, and I just waited. And then at that time, I went inside and asked for my package, and they handed me this envelope. I literally took a screenshot of it the moment I got it and opened it. So it can happen to anyone, to any of you. It is happening to pretty much everyone. And again, you're sitting back saying, well, nah, it ain't really happened to me, so I'm good. It's coming. And if you don't make some adjustments to secure your money and change how you're using, or if you're going to still use these peer-to-peer money applications, you in trouble. And let me say this. When it happens to you, because you refuse to make adjustments, you refuse to change your get down when it comes to these money app services and banks and what have you, when it happens to you, don't email Katie Smooth here at One Brothas Mind. I got no answers for you. Just like most of the other people that you've seen in these reports. I can't tell you what to do. The best you can do is review this report, get some ideas and options off of these news reports as to some of the things that you might be able to do, and go for it. Okay? This is illegal criminal activity that these peer-to-peer money application services are doing. They're literally stealing millions of dollars from people across the U.S. Literally. And again, that's not even the half of it. There's more. I got some more for you. Because we ain't even talked about the actual fraud that's out here that's occurring. We ain't even touched on that. Let me get it together for you. Let me get y'all ready to see. You're getting ready to see here in just a moment. Just a moment here, family. All right. Let me get it together for you. All right. Here we go.
I almost never have cash on me, just my credit cards. And I pay my friends.
Hold on. Let me get this queued up properly. Give me just a moment, family. All right. Now, I knew that was going to happen. Let me get rid of this colonizer invader right quick. And then we'll start this clip in just a moment. Okay, here we go. All right.
With convenience, and that also applies to P2P payment apps. Of the 7 banks that own Zelle, 4 of them reported more than $90 million in scam or...
Okay, real quick. You heard her just say there are 7 banks that own Zelle. They created Zelle as their own peer-to-peer money application service. Why did that happen? Because all the other ones, starting with PayPal and the rest of them that have popped up, they're killing the market, right? And all your mainstream so-called traditional banks are losing out. They're losing customers, they're losing revenue, they're losing money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the main 6 banks, they created Zelle, okay, to try to win back peer-to-peer money services customers. Do you get that? In addition, these main banks, or Zelle, is backed by the government. If you didn't know, Zelle is one of the peer-to-peer services that the federal government has announced that will not, I repeat, it will not be audited for your transactions for taxes owed. I repeat, the federal government announced that Zelle, there's one other, I can't remember. I actually got it in a previous report. Go to One Brothas Mind, scroll down, you'll see these similar Cash App peer-to-peer services thumbnails. Click on those, you'll get more detail there. But Zelle is one of the 2 peer-to-peer apps that will not be audited yearly for taxes that they say you owe, regardless of how many transactions you do. Basically, the banks lobbied the government and the politicians to put that little extra clause in because that's incentive for everybody that's using these peer-to-peer services to then switch back to Zelle and say, well, I'll use Zelle because I won't have to pay taxes on it. And all they're going to do is get back a certain number of customers, a certain number of y'all to come back to using Zelle. And then they're going to say, well, we're going to charge taxes on Zelle too after a while. That's all they're going to do. Now, remember, you say, well, that's cool. I'll figure out what to do then. Okay. But remember, we started this whole report off about who? Zelle. Freezing people's accounts, jacking up people's monies. The people that was waiting in line, that was a Zelle service problem. At the first clip that I shared with you guys, that was Zelle at Bank of America. All right, we're going to continue. Just wanted to make sure that was clear, family. All right, here we go.
Be at odds with convenience, and that also applies to P2P payment apps. Of the 7 banks that own Zelle, 4 of them reported more than $90 million in scam or fraud claims in 2020. That number jumped to nearly $236 million in 2021. An October 2022 Senate report projects it will exceed $255 million in 2022.
Real quick, family. I'm sorry. Are you sitting there asking yourself, how is this amount of fraud happening with these peer-to-peer services? Whether they're the ones that are not legally banks or the Zelle one that is the real banks. The fraud is happening to all of them. Because, family, one, these devils never knew what they were doing, and they still don't know what they're doing today. Two, you got teenage hackers that are smarter than these devils. Literally. They're smarter than these devils. So however they think they set up their little application, it don't take but a few weeks or a few months for hackers to figure out the vulnerabilities with the application, and then they start exploiting it. Like I showed you in the previous report where the guy had about 6 transactions for like $1,300 each. Boom, 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 boom. In just a couple of minutes. So, again, you gonna learn today. Here we go.
The report also says that in most cases, the banks are not repaying customers who were the victims of a fraud or a scam.
You built the system, you profit from every transaction on the system, and you tell people that it is safe. But when someone is defrauded, you claim that's the customer's problem.
Senator Warren has also accused the consortium of banks that own Zelle.
Do I have to rewind that point, family? First off, before I rewind, make sure you hit the like button, man. Smash the likes. Share this report on all your social media with all your peoples. And be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we try to bring you the information and facts you need. Let me back that up so you can hear that one more time so you can be sure of what you heard, okay? I'm going to make sure I got it turned up good. Hold on, here we go.
2022. The report also says that in most cases, the banks are not repaying customers who...
In most cases of the fraudulent transactions, the banks, the real legal banks, are not repaying and refunding their customers' money. Keep that on your mind for just a few more moments, family. We almost to the second half.
Who were the victims of a fraud or a scam.
You built the system, you profit from every transaction on the system, and you tell people that it is safe. But when someone is defrauded, you claim that's the customer's problem.
Senator Warren has also accused the consortium of banks that own Zelle of withholding information about these scams and fraud cases. Zelle's parent company, Early Warning Services, LLC, called the report, quote, misleading in an October 2022 press release. Zelle says that more than 99.9% of payments are sent without any report of fraud or scams. There have also been reports of fraudulent activity on PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. All 4 companies provide resources to consumers to better protect themselves.
One of the reasons that P2P fraud is so tricky is because it's less about something that's inherent to the platforms. It's not like they're being hacked or there's data sort of falling off the edges or whatnot. And it's more about human error. People are being tricked online. There's social engineering, there's scams, and they're falling for it.
Companies like Zelle and others will say, well, the consumer has to work with their financial institution. We're not the bank, right? And I think that just puts too much onus on the consumer. Right now, the way that things are in terms of legal liabilities and responsibility, companies have obligations to investigate and to adhere to certain prescriptions, but the consumers largely still can be liable for sometimes up to $500. So that's problematic.
Most of them are taking it on a case-by-case basis. So they'll listen to what the situation was and then make a determination about whether or not those are funds that should be returned to the consumer. And there are times, too, where they will work with the receiving bank and try to claw back those funds. That doesn't always work because if the funds are already taken out of the account, what are you going to do?
The challenge is that once you're online, there's like continually evolving kinds of schemes. And yet, I would say with respect to all of the companies, not just Zelle, beyond education, you don't really see the technology keeping a pace with methods that consumers can use, to either slow down the transaction, and you do see companies responding there, or B, if we're in a real-time payments and transactions space, are there real-time solutions to managing and preventing fraud? And who should bear the responsibility?
There's some mitigations around that, about like how much money you can send at one time. But fraudsters are creative. So I think what we'll need to see, and what I expect to see in some form or fashion, is some ability to rein in and provide some consumer guarantees around reversibility or effectively a chargeback.
They are working to fix the fraud problem, and there's really 3 approaches they're taking to that. The first is a tech-driven approach. They basically use AI, machine learning, to better make sure that senders and recipients are who they say they are on the back end. There are also education campaigns. When you're sending money, you might get a prompt saying, "Are you sure you're sending this to who you think you're sending this to?" Just to try to preempt the fraud before it happens by making consumers more aware that it's a risk. And then the third is this rumored reimbursement plan that came out late last year. Under this plan, banks would determine if a fraud claim was legitimate, and then the bank that holds the account where the funds were sent would reimburse the victim. So if I sent money to you and you were a scammer, your bank would be responsible for paying me back if it was proven to be a claim that could be repaid. Competition in the space is really fierce, but it's complicated because it's really common for people to use multiple apps for different use cases. So I would say that the majority of P2P users are on more than one of these platforms, and potentially even all 4 of them, but they are using them in different ways.
The companies are competing to gain more share of users in different age demographics. Only 20% of people over the age of 65 said they use Zelle, while 41% said they use PayPal, according to a Pew Research Center survey from July 2022.
What we're looking to see is more people who are older, who have greater financial means, higher incomes, starting to adopt fintechs as their primary mode of accessing financial services.
Gen Z and even Gen Alpha, like, are digital everything all the time. They live and die by their smartphones. Everyone wants to reach this population. Cash App already launched a teen account. Venmo seems to be exploring it this year. It's an exciting opportunity for growth potential, because if you can get people when they're really young, they might form habits around you that last for a lifetime.
The branding is helpful in that, you aren't looking at Wells' individual P2P payment mechanism or Citi's individual payment mechanism. It looks very cohesive across the financial institution landscape that's participating in the network. So I think all of those things bode well.
They're trying to chip away at some of the frequent challenging points of interacting with the banking industry, whereas Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are really growing off a viral P2P benefit.
Providers are trying to get new features out there. I'm interested to see how they're looking to tighten relationships, grow their volume through these new offerings.
There you have it, family. Y'all should definitely by now get my point that is on your screen. Your money can't be frozen or stolen if it ain't in these accounts. And this includes regular banks. I'm going to repeat that one more again for the people in the back. Your money cannot be frozen or stolen by any of these apps or your bank if it's not there, if they don't have it. This is your primary solution to this problem, family. I've told people over and over the same thing. People look at me like I'm crazy. Okay. Do you? But I keep telling people, get your money out of their banks, out of their accounts. Your money is safest with you. Okay? So with that being said, family, again, we're going to try to offer you some more solutions and options, because you may be sitting there going, well, wait a minute, man, I need to, whether it's a cash app or a bank or something, I need to use something. I need to pay stuff electronically. Not necessarily, but that's what you want to do. Okay, fine. If that's what you're going to do, then severely limit the amount of money that's in your accounts. It is our recommendation here at One Brothas Mind that you make sure that you have at least 90% of your cash money with you or not in their banks. You can keep a functional up to 10% in your accounts or whatever, just to be functional, pay your bills, what have you. Do what you got to do. But if that's how you're going to approach, you need to set a maximum balance limit. If it's $300 for you, $500, $1,000, $2,500, whatever it is, you need to set you a maximum balance limit. And when your account reaches that maximum balance, you go make a withdrawal that removes most of your money out of your account. So it's with you and not with them. Now, what you do with your money, your cash money that you have, that you withdrew, that you have with you, hey, you're going to have to do some research and figure out how you're going to secure and hold your cash. Okay? That's to each his own. What did your boy do? What did Denzel do in the Godfather? When he buried it under the doghouse in the backyard? Whatever it is you decide to do, that's your business, right? But it's safest with you. And even in that movie with Denzel, what did he do when he got out of jail? He came right back to the doghouse and he was papered up all over again. Do you see that? Yeah. Okay. Let's move forward. On your screen, family, do you guys know about the Currency and Foreign Transactions Reporting Act of 1970? If you don't, I got you. All banks must report any deposit and withdrawals of over $10,000 to the I, the IRA, and the S. Banks have time restrictions for large transactions. It implicates, they're saying large transactions implicate possible illegal activity. Also, the act of structuring itself is illegal. Did you know? If you try to go, you can say you got some paper in your account. And you say, all right, Katie Smooth, I see it. I'm going to get it. Excuse me. I'm going to get my paper, man. This is crazy. And you go say, I want $11,000 out my account today. You're going to have some trouble. At the very least, you're going to have to wait a period of time, possibly sign some extra documents, and go through a bunch of extra, do the electric boogaloo, the slide, or something on the side. You got to do a whole bunch of extra stuff just to get your money. It's yours. But they are locking it down slowly but surely. Most of y'all didn't even know about this. They passed this back in 1970. So, I'm not telling you, I'm saying go get your money, but I'm not telling you go withdraw $10,000. Call your bank. Find out what your withdrawal limit or maximum is, where you don't have to jump through no special hoops, and then go and start making those withdrawals. But you're going to have to, if you got some serious money in your account, you're going to have to space those out, because if you say, well, I'm going to go every month and get this X amount of dollars out of my account, they call that structuring at the bottom. And structuring itself, they made it illegal. So you can't show up at your bank and take out X amount of dollars once a month, every month, without them getting the peoples involved and telling you can't get no more money and causing all kind of other problems. It's your money. All right, you better hurry up and get it because they locking it down. And once they really lock it all down, ain't gonna be no going back getting your money. Yeah, did you know? Okay. Did you know about this? Your boy, Mr. Biden, the executive order he just announced here on March 9th, 2022 is right on your screen. The executive order developing digital currency. Yeah. EO 14067. The you know about that? Yeah, they putting together digital currency. Why? Because they want to lock your money down in your so-called your accounts and make it even harder for you to get it and use it while dealing with all this hell, fraud, scams, them stealing your money, whatever. If it's a digital currency, they can do even more of that and have even more control over your money. Better go get it. This is going to be announced. It's not going to be long. It's going to be soon. Okay? Do your research. So here's another thing. You say, okay, Katie Smooth. You know what? I went and got my money yesterday. I got my loot and I'm good. It's safe with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. But here's another problem that you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to make some decisions on. That is, if you got a significant amount of cash on you, you do know that other gang, that little blue gang out there is stealing people's money from them while they out driving around on the street, right? You do know that, right? Let's say if you got a few racks on you and you going to buy a used vehicle, maybe 10 minutes away from your house. You know, you paying cash for it, you know, like we've always done. Okay. On your way there, you get pulled over for some random reason. And it's that cop happened to want to be frisky that day. Sir, can you step out the vehicle? You have anything in the vehicle I need to know about? Do you have weapons? You know how they do. And then they hit you with the, do you mind if we search your vehicle? And initially in your mind, you thinking, yeah, I ain't got nothing. I'm good. Ain't nothing in my shit. Everything is mine in there. Even my couple of few racks I got over there in the bag on the seat. Guess what they gonna do when they unzip that bag you got on the seat with them racks in it? They gonna come to you, sir. Do you have a receipt for this money? You're like, a receipt? It's my money. I don't need no dang receipt. Your money gone, homie. Your money gone. They gonna tell you, well, sir, according to this law, yada, 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 232-3745, the penal code, so-and-so, it's illegal for you to have cash, this amount of cash on you and be traveling around without any receipt for it. So we're going to have to seize this money. Now, don't worry. If it's your money, you go get a receipt for it that proves it's your money. Bring that down to the precinct or whatnot and turn that in, and that'll help you get your money back. But as for right now, we have to take this with us. Same thing if you running a business. Say you got a donut shop you running. And you pick a particular time throughout the day to say, okay, my bank that I'm using is just 2-3 blocks away from my donut shop. All right, cool. I'm going to go move some cash. We reached our cash maximum that I want to hold in the store or at my location. So I'm going to take a bunch of this cash and go deposit it in the bank. Nothing illegal about it. You put your cash in your little money bag, bust a move down, heading down towards your bank. Woo! They go through this same hustle. Can we search your vehicle? Nah, man. Well, now we're going to have to search your vehicle because you don't want to just let us search your vehicle. I have a warrant. Here you go. We'll get a warrant. Just stay here. Whatever. They search your vehicle. They're going to find your little money back. And that money that you made fair and square through your business is gone. They're doing hundreds and thousands of people like this on regular roads, the highways, byways, all over. It's called asset forfeiture. They're literally stealing money. And most time, if you got like 3-4 racks trying to buy a used vehicle, after they steal your money and you talk to a couple attorneys about what you need to do to get your money back, you discover it's actually going to cost you more money. The attorneys and whatnot, they're going to cost you or charge you more money than the amount that the boys in blue stole from you. They stole 3 racks. It may cost you 6 or 7 to hire the attorney and get the attorney to help you get your 3 racks back. So many people are sitting back going, well, it's my money, but it ain't even worth me fighting for it to get it because it's going to cost me a whole lot more money to get my own money back. The police know this. That's another reason why they're literally doing this to thousands of people every day. So my point is, family, you won't have to make a plan. If you planning to, be wise and remove at least 90% of your money out of these accounts, out of these banks, you're going to have to be very wise with how you decide to move around and travel, just everyday travel or travel from one destination to another, or even international travel. You're going to have to be very, very wise with how you choose to transport your money or what method you use, and just putting it in a bag, trying to hide it under the fender, whatever you come up with, that ain't always going to work because that's an extreme risk. Because if you do get pulled over and they search your vehicle, 9 times out of 10, they're going to find wherever you hit it. And the fact, whether you hit it or not, they're going to take it. Make sure we're clear on that, family. Okay? So you're going to have to make some decisions. So as you're saying, okay, Katie Smooth, well, what the hell? What can we do? Well, here's a couple of things. Here's a couple of options on your screen. 1, when you're going to travel to a particular destination, you could, before you go, do your research and see if your bank has branches in your destination location, or at the very least if they have ATMs in that location where you can withdraw your money from your account. If they do, there's a good option. Don't carry a whole lot of cash on you. Go ahead and travel to where you're going, get to your destination, go to the branch location there or ATM in that location and withdraw the money that you need to draw. Okay? 2 other options on your screen. Say you're going to make a purchase or buy a used vehicle or whatever. You can also go and get some money orders totaling the amount of money that you need to use when you are going to make whatever purchase that you're going to make when you get to your destination. Same thing with cashier's checks. Okay? Same thing. The only limitation to money orders and cashier's checks is there's a paper trail and a digital record of who you paid this money to. And a lot of people write on there what's it for, so it may be what's it for as well. So if you're not a fan of having a trail, a paper trail and a digital trail to what you spend your money on, you might want to try to use the first option. Okay? Just a few. Let's move on. This money game, this money hustle that the banks and these peer-to-peer money applications are running that I've shared with you, it's happening over in China too. It's happening all over the world, man. This ain't just in the United States. This image on your screen, this is actually many banks over in China. There's a big mortgage scandal and mortgage crisis over in China. Real quick, basically, over in China, they got so many people that before a new housing building, a new condo building is built, before it's built, the builder of the building starts to sell the condos before one brick is laid, right? And a lot of Chinese people, because there's so many, they breaking their necks. There's other reasons, but they're breaking their necks to go ahead. They go take out mortgages at their bank to buy one of these soon to be built condos, right? And the builder, at a certain point starts to build the condos, but guess what? The builder never finishes the building project. So you got all these thousands of people that are taking out mortgages for condos in this new building that never gets completed being built. So now they're stuck. They're paying a monthly mortgage payment every month, and they ain't got their condo or house or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, right? And the builder is saying, well, I can't finish. We ran out of funds, or making up whatever other excuse, and the builder just wants to move on. So this has been going on for several years over in China, family. So this is just one shot, if you're familiar or plugged in over there, where all these people just went to this bank and they demanded their money back because they are not getting the condo. I've been paying for a year and a half or whatever, all these mortgage payments. You got to give us our money back. Because they broke the contract. I held my end of the deal up. And the bank just locked all the doors and said, nope, can't get your money back. So that's why they're sitting out front of this bank. Think I'm lying. Go to One Brothas Mind. I got another report about, are the banks, is your money safe at the bank? I got several of them. In the update one, it says, is your money safe? And it says update at the top. Click on that one. I show you a report, I share with you guys a report and more information on this issue. It goes into great detail explaining what's happening. So my point is, banks all over the world are hustling people and stealing people's money. That's the point. It's just worse over in China. But it's already starting to happen on a significant scale here in the U.S. Let's continue. Matter of fact, here it is. When you go to One Brothas Mind, go into the video list, you'll see this thumbnail. Click on that if you want to hear about what's happening over in China as well. And as the economy and banking system over in China collapses, it will have a negative impact on the banking system all over the world. Don't miss that, family. But again, I go into more detail in this report on your screen and explaining that to you guys, okay? All right. Oh, yeah. Y'all see it on the screen. Y'all remember, about 6 months ago, there was a big nationwide EBT outage. The EBT system shut down. People couldn't go do they get no food with their cards. Y'all do remember I told y'all at the beginning, we're far beyond a system failure. We're in the stage of system failures, plural, and it's going to get worse. Yeah, people, man, I got a report on this one. Go to One Brothas Mind. Look for this thumbnail. If you didn't know, get updated, get up to speed. You got to catch up. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on out in these streets out here. For those of you that don't know, y'all got to catch up and catch up fast. Okay? How many of y'all remember this? You remember the whole federal system that allows banks to send money to other banks went down, supposedly for just a few hours? Yeah, that was in February 2022. Did y'all hear about that? It shut the banks down for a minute. Yeah, your bank too. It affected all banks. They hurried up and tried to get this problem fixed, because if it had lasted for just a few more hours, it was going to be having negative impacts on hundreds of thousands of more people. Because many people, when this happened, was like, my card don't work. I'm at Target. It's getting declined. What's going on? Just add the blue. And it was because of this. Oh, it happened to a lot of people. Do your research. Google this. February 24th, 2021. Most of y'all didn't even know this happened. Admit it. Man, y'all better get caught up quick. Get your money out of their banks and their accounts. Okay? All right. Again, we're past system failure. Way past it. We are in system failures. We are at system failures. Do you hear me? Y'all don't hear me though. We are in system failures. Okay? So be clear, family. You better get up to speed. That's the reason for this report, to provide you a report. Provide a report to the family out here, so this will help you get up to speed and understanding on what's going on, what options you have, what you can do, okay, to try to protect yourself and your money, okay? Because you need it. You need to do that, family. Okay. All right. So, understand, the day is coming. It's not if, it's when. I've just showed you the EBT system went down. The regular banking systems have gone down. And that's not the only time that they've gone down that I showed you in that article. That's just the most recent. The fraud that's going on at the banks and the peer-to-peer apps, the scams they're doing, freezing your... When it's all these things, these system failures happen and they get worse, where they last more than a few hours or more than a few days, do you know what's going to happen? It's on your screen. Every one of you that did not listen to this report here from One Brothas Mind or other reports similar to this, that we are trying to inform you of what's happening, this is what you're going to get caught up in. Because as soon as you get the notice or the text message or whatever, your account been frozen. In fact, it's everybody's accounts or whatever. You gonna run and try to go to the bank to get your money. You're gonna be out here in the streets like this, and all hell is going to break loose. Do you understand that? So if you want to avoid being out there, being forced to go out there like this, trying to figure out a way, some kind of witching a way to get access to your money, take 90% of your money out of your bank now. Take 90% out of these accounts now. Keep your money safe with you. Okay? So let's just fast forward. When the banking systems collapse and have problems for longer period of times and you can't pay your bills, you can't buy food or whatever. When this happens, and you're going to see on the social media streets or on your mainstream media, this is the scenes you're going to see in your city where the banks are at. And the banks are just going to lock the doors and go, and the people in there going to go hide or leave if they can. If you have already removed at least 90% of your money out of their banks, out of their accounts, you can sit at home in the safety of your house and wait it out instead of being out there like this. Do you see that? That's really all we're really saying here in One Brothas Mind. You want to avoid what's on your screen at all costs. You want to avoid that at all costs. Right? So I ask you, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you really? It's not if, it's only when and how soon. Okay, family. You can choose not to respond. Keep saying Katie Smooth crazy. Keep walking around like ain't no problems. All they ain't gonna never, let nothing like this happen and all this stuff. I've literally shown you what's happening to people. Now you can do your research. Get on whatever social media platform you use, YouTube, whatever. Search for bank froze account or bank froze my account, stuff like that. All you're going to see is person after person after person after person after person giving their recount as to what has happened to them or what is happening to them. That's all you're going to see. And that's just the people that have the ability to do and upload a video. Most of the people that this is happening to, family, is when it happens, last thing they worried about is trying to upload a video. They're trying to figure out some kind of way to get their money. But again, keep on saying Katie Smooth crazy. Go on with your bad self. Go on ahead. Do you? Again, family, stop using these things on your screen now. Make the adjustments that you need to make. Get at least 90% of your money out of their hands and into yours where it is safe. Because think about it. You ain't getting nothing. The banks don't give you no kind of interest or nothing for your money in your accounts anyway. I mean, 40, 50 years ago, they used to give you a little couple of pennies interest, but they don't even do that no more. So basically, they got most people, you get your little, they made it required to do a direct deposit. You get your little direct deposit and you leave your money in there. That's free gambling money for the banks. Because they're using your money to buy stocks and investments, give loans to other people. They're using your money to do that. And they're not sharing any of their profits with you. Nothing. No interest whatsoever in most cases. So why have them have your money? I mean, many of us, family, you even know the standard rule. Even if you're playing, like, say, a tip book, you're pulling tickets off a tip book. If your ticket, if you hit on a tip book, for a few $100s, you at least go around to the tip book man or the tip book lady and be like, here you go. I appreciate you. You break them off $20, $40, $50, depending on what it is, how much you want. You break them off a little change, a tip. Thank you. If I didn't see you today, I wouldn't have all this extra money. The banks don't even do that. They're using your money to make them money, and they're not sharing any of it with you. So why do they have your money again? Why are you letting them hold it? For what? Yeah, okay, family. We're going to leave it there on this report, family. Again, I got multiple reports. You'll see this type of thumbnail, or you'll see the other one with the blue, the dark blue. Is your money safe? I got 2, 3, 4, 5 different money reports. They all cover different aspects of the issue of why it's important to get your money, at least 90%, out of the banks now. Okay? So, y'all let me know what you think. Let's chop it up in the comments. I mean, if y'all got some more solution options, because there are a few others out there, leave them in the comments. That's what we're here for, to try to be helpful, to help provide information, to be an information hub, source, so we can navigate all these minefields out here that they have in place, mainly to capture us, so-called black people in America. That's what they're doing. Because they know most of us are in the least position to not only fight them on this stuff after it happens, but most of us are in the least position to prevent it. Because many of us, family, are just scared no matter which way we turn. We're scared to take action. You can't live like that, family. You got to make a choice, make a decision, and stand on it. Even if it's the money under the doghouse decision, whatever, you got to stand on it. Dude stood on it. Denzel stood on that. Went to jail for over a decade. Came home. When nobody was looking, where'd he go? Back to that doghouse. Flipped that joker over. And he was back in business. Do you see that? Okay, family. Again, smash the likes. If you appreciate our content here at One Brothas Mind, make sure you share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, where we bring you the information and facts you need. And this concludes this broadcast on One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us, and as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory, and being on code is required. But never fear, Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.